Exodus chapter number 20. Exodus chapter number 20. Verse number 12. Exodus 20, verse number 12. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. One of the 10 Commandments. And it says, if you honor your father and your mother, you will have longevity. And you know what? We like to hit young people over the head with this verse. And I believe it's quite literal. Honor thy father and thy mother. But I also think it can be spiritualized. In the New Testament, the New Jerusalem, which is the church of God, is called the mother of us all. And Jesus said, when you pray to God, you say, our Father, which art in heaven. We live in a day and age where people are I think for the most part, people are very health conscious. They want a right diet. They want a right exercise. They want to take all natural stuff, or they want to take their medicine. That's good. There's not a thing wrong with that. But the Word of God has promised us longevity if we honor those who are put here for our good and to raise us and to make us good, to make us mature. Longevity. Look at Ephesians chapter number 6. Paul mentions this commandment. Ephesians chapter number 6. Verses 1 through 3. Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Honor thy father and mother, which is the first commandment with promise, that it may be well with thee, and thou mayest live long on the earth. Longevity of natural life is a benefit and a reward of honoring your mother and father. Brother Gary, I've already been down the road a while, and my mother and father are not here anymore. Do you honor them? Or do all you talk about is how they failed or what their particular sins were or whatever? Honor thy father and thy mother, so that your life will be long upon the earth. But you know what? There are other scriptures that talk about longevity. Look at Proverbs chapter number 3. Proverbs chapter number 3. And before we start in Proverbs chapter number 3, I want you to look at chapter 1 and the first few verses. Solomon is writing to his son. The Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel, to know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding, to receive the instruction of wisdom, justice, judgment, and equity, to give subtlety to the simple, and to what kind of man? Young man, knowledge and discretion. Now go over to chapter 3, verses 1 and 2. My son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments, for length of days and long life and peace shall they add to thee. Wisdom can result in long life. Why do so many people not live to be old? Foolishness. And I'm going to use the word stupidity. They don't listen. They don't learn. They don't observe. They act crazy. There are things in my life, even now, I still tremble when I think about what I did when I was young. But if you act wisely, listen to me, younger people. You listen to the instruction of the Word of God, and you listen to wise older people. you can live to be older. You can have longevity on the earth. Proverbs chapter 8 is where his wisdom is personified, and we refer that to Christ a lot. Not a thing wrong with that, it's great. But you know what it says at the end? They that hate me love death. Death. Do you want to live long? Be wise. Listen to the Word of God. Listen to what He says and how He instructs you. Observe those who are obeying the Word of God. And you'll have longevity upon the earth. Look at Proverbs 10. This is actually my text verse. Proverbs 10, verse number 27. The fear of the Lord does what? But the years of the wicked shall be shortened. Do you know why there's so much murder in the world? Why there is so much suicide in the world? Do you know why so many babies are being killed? There's no fear of the Lord. There's no fear of the Lord. You walk into a public place with a loaded weapon and you start killing people, you're killing people made in the image of God. People who do that not fear God. On a personal note, it used to really get next to me. They'll do all this stuff and then they'll kill themselves. And I used to think, we didn't get to put them on trial or whatever. And you know what? They killed themselves and stood right before God. Justice was done immediately. But this love of death, it's all has everything to do with no fear of God. No fear of God. Your life is designed by God. Cherish it. Use it for His glory. Length of days. Some of you older people, listen to me. Don't hand me this stuff. I just can't wait to get called home. Paul said he was in a twixt between two. But listen, you need to live your life to the glory of God. And He'll call you home when it's ready, when He's ready, and when it's best. I've actually heard people say, don't pray for me during my surgery. You're going to keep me out of glory. And I thought, Lord, in all Christian love and all due respect, can I shake them till their teeth rattles? Because life's important. Jesus said, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. Life's important. Natural life is important. Why is it wrong to murder? Because life is holy. Life is holy. God gives you that. You need to be a good steward of it. Good steward of it. But He has promised us longevity. Look at Deuteronomy 5. Deuteronomy 5. Verse number 33. You shall walk in all the ways which the Lord your God hath commanded you, that you may live, and that it may be well with you, and that you may prolong your days in the land which you shall possess. Proverbs 16. Proverbs 16. Verse number 31. Proverbs 16, 31. The hoary head, you know what that is? Gray hair. The hoary head is a crown of glory if it be found in the way of righteousness. I'm not going to shoot down my own devotional, but let me tell you something. Being old doesn't make you a saint. That's right. There's some bitter old people. There's some foolish and unwise old people. But if you get there and the Lord brings you down to the stage of life we call elderly, and you've obeyed Him, then that gray hair is a crown. You've got there by walking with God and obeying Him. I want to show you something interesting. Look at Matthew chapter number 6. I didn't have a clue about this, that which I'm about to share with you, although I've known this verse for a long time. Matthew 6, verse 27. Which of you, by taking thought, can add 1 cubit unto his stature? I've always taken that literally, and I believe it can be literal, because when I was a little kid, I used to stand in front of the mirror and strain to grow, and it didn't work. But do you know what a lot of different translations of the Bible render this verse? Which of you, by worrying, can add 1 moment to your life? One version says, can increase your age. You can't do that. Life is in the hand of God who gave it. But we are to be good stewards of the life. What are some of the arguments against it? Well, Brother Gary, I can quote you a verse, bodily exercise profiteth little. It does profit. And you're to be a good steward of your body. But you're to have a right relationship with God. You know what the clue to, you know what the secret to longevity is? A right relationship with God. Amen. With God. And if you have a right relationship with God, you're going to act wisely. You're going to be a good steward of your body, a good steward of your life, and you're going to walk with Him. Well, you know, Jesus said you got to hate your own life. He didn't say you got to hate living and breathing. You keep that in the context. That's your service to others. Their lives are more important than yours. Well, what about him, Brother Gary? He was like 33 when he was on the cross. Yes, but he is our divine sacrifice. And guess what? People like to use this phrase, and I've used it. I'm going to try my best not to use it anymore. He ended up on the cross. He didn't end up on the cross. He went through the cross. He ended up at the right hand of the Father. Amen. So there you go. There you go. Okay, that's longevity. That's natural life. I can't sit down without talking about the ultimate longevity. God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, that whosoever should believe on Him should what? But have what? There's everlasting longevity. And John 17:3 says, this is life eternal, that they may know Thee, the only true God, and Jesus Christ, whom You have sent. Be a good steward of you. Be a good steward of every aspect of you. Be a good steward of your life and the time you have upon the earth. God will bless it, and He will increase it. He said, I'll give you length of days if you obey My commandments, if you honor your mother and father, and if you have the fear of the Lord. Let's conclude with Isaiah 46. Isaiah 46. Verses 3 and 4. Hearken unto me, O house of Jacob, and all the remnant of the house of Israel, which are born by Me from the belly, which are carried from the womb, and even to your old age I am He, and even to hoar hairs will I carry you. I have made, and I will bear, even I will carry, and will deliver you. Folks, I hope you have, you know what I wish for you? Length of days. Length of days in your relationship with God.